If you want to see how I insulated and cladded my workshop for under $1,000, watch this video. So what I'm actually using here is a product called Instant Grab, and what it does is you just apply it straight to the exterior walls of the shed, and you can just push your insulation right on that, and once it grabs it just doesn't let go. What I'm doing here is I'm using this insulation tape to actually close the gap between the two joins of the insulation. This will prevent any heat from radiating through the insulation layer into the shed. Doing the silicone was something I wasn't actually going to do. Although I'm really happy I did. It just sort of prevents, any bugs or critters coming through. It also helps with any dust and I guess also if we have a really heavy downpour, no water will get through and affect the particle board sheets once they're up. I've just decided to use normal, just your residential ceiling battens to take these sheets. This is something that I just decided to do. I had about 30 lengths left over from when we built our house, and what better way of saving money than just using what you have lying around. This is the foam that I've been using to fill the top of the shed. It's been working really well, so let's give it a crack. This expansion foam is really good. You just got to keep in mind that it expands to about 3 times the size of when you apply it. So you just got to make sure you don't fill up the area too much, because it will just keep expanding and expanding for a few hours until it completely cures and dries. Okay, expansion foam's done up the top. As you can see, we've got the silicone down the bottom, insulation's on. I've got the ceiling battens up now. They're only tacked on at the moment by a few screws, so I'm going to go ahead now and screw them off. And then once the expansion foam's dry, I might slice it back to fit the sheets, and that'll be the next step, getting the sheets up on the wall. Okay, the wall is ready, it's prepped, and now's the fun part. Now we got to get these boards up on here. Wish me luck, they're pretty big. I've done all the other walls myself, so I should be right doing the last one. They're 1800 millimeters wide and it's 3600 millimeters long, and they're particle board sheets. So let's see how we go. So for anyone who's actually wanting to know how I did this for under $1,000, so the insulation, I bought 2 massive rolls from Bunnings for $900 in total, so they were about $450 each. The silicone, expansion foam, and the instant grab was all about $60 all up, probably $30 to $40 worth of screws as well. And the best deal of the lot was all the particle sheets were actually for free. So if you want to know how I did that, just I recommend driving around to any of your cabinet makers or joiners in your area where you live and ask if they want to throw out their packing sheets. Normally, most of them will have a huge stack that they want to get rid of or give away because it costs them money to take them to landfills. on this straight edge here at 300mm intervals. So instead of marking out every 300mm now along that line, I could just use this and mark every 300, which will give me my screw hole gaps between screws. Come about 50mm up from the bottom, and I've come 70mm down from the top, and that'll give me my bottom and top screw hole. So this sheet now is ready to be pre-drilled. I'm going to do a clearance hole so the screw can fit right through, and then once all the clearance holes are completed, I can lay it up against the wall and screw it in. Right, so one thing I probably need to show you guys, which I've had to do to every sheet here, let me just take you over here. And if you look down at the bottom of where the sheet actually meets the ground, there's these bolts here and nuts. And then as you come up here, I've got a bit of conduit over here. That's going to be a bit of an issue. Up the top there on that post, you have a couple bolts up there. So there's a few things a few areas that I need to notch out of the actual sheet before I can throw it up. So I just wanted to make sure you understand that on your shed, you're probably going to need to do that as well, because I can't imagine any shed in Australia where there would not be bolts and nuts and little things sticking out from the sides where you would have to actually cut around and notch out. So keep that in mind. So obviously the concrete must be a little bit out. I've got a 3mm packer on both sides, and it's not sitting flush up against the post or plumb up against the post. Maybe the post isn't square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack this side up with some packers I've got here, and just make sure that it's sitting nice and tight up against that post, just to get the sheet nice and straight. Okay, as you can see, just by packing up one side, I've been able to get it pretty nice and tight along that post, which is what we want, down the side there. And then if you come over to where it meets this next one, it's right in the center of that next ceiling button. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. Looks great.
This is really nice particle board. It's nice and smooth. You can get some rough ones sometimes, but I went for this nice smooth stuff here. So all up, a really good way of insulating your shed, if you don't already, and if you're turning it into a workshop like I'm doing, it's perfect. This is going to be a while till I get everything completed. By the way, the plans are to actually, gap fill all the screw holes and paint it maybe like a nice bright white color just to brighten this place up, make it look nice and clean, and turn this place into a woodworking workshop. So just to go over quickly some of the stuff I use, just the cheapest silicone I could find at Bunnings just to do the floor. This stuff here, Nail It, wasn't that cheap, but this was really, really good to grab the insulation as I pushed it onto the shed walls. And the last product I used was this Bostik fillet, just the expansion foam for the top of the shed. Just keeps all the dust out, just keeps all the spiders out. We've had about 3 brown snakes here in our property in the last 2 years, and one of them was actually in the shed. So look, I probably went a little bit over the top with all this stuff, but I think it's going to pay off in the long run when I'm nice and cool in our 40-degree heat here in summer and our nice and warm in winter. So thanks for watching, and I hope you got something out of this video.